Welcome back to Cinema Cult. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
I'm Honto.
And we are starting a new month. It's March now, and we're doing martial arts, which we've done. Is this our third time doing this?
This is
year
3, I think.
Yeah,
So
because our first year we did
Honto picked Passenger 57. He said that's the main martial arts movie he wanted to talk about.
now we did them back to back though, right? Like it's 3 years in a row, or did we do martial arts?
Well, every time there's a
year
month,
gap.
every time there's a year that has the month March in it, we usually do martial arts. And
Yeah, but didn't we skip a year? I thought
don't
we
think
skipped
so.
a year.
There was leap. It was leap year, and there was no March.
Oh yeah, that page is not
no.
on my calendar.
I think we've only been doing it for 2 years, quote unquote. This is our third time doing it.
Yeah.
So because we did Passenger 57, we did
Hard Target.
Hard Target.
Yeah.
And Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We're talking about the bags of chocolate milk in Rumble in the Bronx, I think.
Right. And then the next year we did
Enter the Dragon, Kung Fu Hustle, and The Street Fighter.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will say though, I think this month is gonna trump the other ones.
Yes, I do too.
I'm feeling pretty good about this one, especially
This month is gonna be awesome.
Yeah. I think we're
We're gonna kick this off with 1984's Karate Kid. Let's go ahead and start off by actually everybody's seen this. Matt, you had it, right?
No, I haven't.
You've never seen this before?
No, I know. I mean, I've seen parts of it, but it's like on clip shows.
Yeah, or like cinema's greatest moments, and it's
But that's the only kind of like that's the only time I've ever seen stuff from it. I've never actually sat down and watched this movie in whole.
Wow, that's fascinating to me. I've seen this a lot of times.
Really?
Yeah, I think my opinion is going to come from the fact that like I didn't grow up with this movie, and I feel like if you grew up with it, you really, really dug it. If you didn't grow up with it, it's okay. But I'll let you know what my opinion is at the end of this movie.
I think you just kind of told us.
Well,
maybe
I kind of know because I took a peek at Letterboxd earlier.
Yeah, and then so I'm not what I'm saying right now.
You're not messing around right now. I'm
not messing around. I'm not like.
All right, no spoilers.
I'm not lying.
Let's okay. I think I've seen this. I think I'm with Matt. I know the movie. I've seen the clips. I might have saw it when I was younger once.
Yeah,
but I know of it. So 1984, Rotten Tomatoes. What does it have? Matt, we'll start off with you. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with 75.
Okay.
I'll go 78.
Honto wins. It was 89.
Oh wow.
Damn.
So, but I want to continue this trend. Karate Kid Part 2, 1986. What does it have on Rotten Tomatoes? Matt?
Wait, what?
Karate Kid 2, Rotten Tomatoes.
I didn't hear you say the 2-part, and I was like, didn't you just ask this question?
It's a sneak peek at our one of our next movies. It's a glitch in the Matrix. You're getting it twice.
I saw Matt get a calculator out, and he was like, "What?"
I think 2's got like a 68.
Okay, Honto
71.
45.
Oh wow, that's a major decrease in.
Okay, we'll keep going. Karate Kid 3, 1989. What do you think it has?
You go, Matt.
45. No.
What? What is it? What are you gonna say?
Matt said 45.
Okay, I'm gonna say 28.
15%.
Oh,
okay. The next Karate Kid, 1994, with Hilary Swank. Matt, what do you think it has?
4. It's got a 4%. I'm going lower.
20%.
7%.
7%.
Oh, wow.
And then Karate
The
Kid
remake.
2010, the remake. What does it have on RT?
67%.
55%.
66.
Wow.
Yeah. So Matt, you were so close.
But
Price is Right rules. So let's talk about the budget real quick. How much do you think it made? Only the first one. We're not doing the rest of them. But for the first Karate Kid, how much did it? What was the budget?
15.
Okay, Honto.
20 million.
8 million.
Wow.
And how much did it make domestically?
70 million.
Okay, Honto.
30 million.
90 million.
90 million. Oh my gosh.
Honto wins,
So
even though he totally lowballed that.
So bad at this game.
And then, so the worldwide is kind of odd. So we'll just say, what do you think it made internationally? So it made
only internationally, like no,
not domestically.
Okay.
Yeah, just internationally. Matt?
120.
Okay. Hanto?
40 million.
$42,000.
Wow. $40,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, which is weird because,
dude, I'm lost on these. I am so confused on these numbers, by the way. Did you?
I think it opened up in one. I think it opened up in one theater in Asia.
Right?
Wait,
yeah,
so okay, I don't know why I said that. I meant when I said that number, I was combining the U.S.
That's why I asked. I was like, just international.
He's like, just international. I said, yeah, just international.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, international means everything, though, right?
No, worldwide.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
International would be everything. Okay.
International numbers, everything US, not
like
US.
every week we talk about the meanings of these words, and we're like, what exactly does that mean?
It'd be like best international feature for Oscars, and like Shakespeare in Love wins for international feature. You know, it's like an American made movie or whatever.
Yeah, because international. So if I say this movie was a hit internationally, would that mean worldwide or just across?
That's what I always thought. I always thought internationally meant like everything,
and that's why
domestic meant like
domestic US.
Yeah,
and then international.
Yeah, that's what I always thought, because I always see the number says internationally and it's combined. It's a combined number.
I guess we'll never know.
Listeners, I'm very sorry that we're just discovering words today.
Geography,
right? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Hanto, can you do us the cast and crew breakdown, please?
Directed by John G. Avildsen. I actually didn't realize that he directed Rocky, the original Rocky. He also did Karate Kid Part 2 and 3. He did Lean on Me, with I think isn't that Morgan Freeman, I believe?
Yeah.
He returned back for Rocky 5. And then I remember this movie back in the day, but there's a movie called 8 Seconds with Luke Perry. He also did that movie.
Okay. That would make sense because the composer for this movie was Bill Conti, who did Rocky.
Yeah, so. That makes sense. Yeah. Written by Robert Mark Kamen. He co-wrote Fifth Element with Luc Besson. He did the screenplay for Lethal Weapon 3, which is a previous episode. And then he also did a screenplay for a martial arts movie called Kiss the Dragon, starring Jet Li. Okay. The movie stars Ralph Macchio as Daniel LaRusso, known from The Outsiders, My Cousin Vinny. And then I feel like this is a little known movie, but Crossroads. It's basically about a blues musician.
Stevie Vaughn's in it.
Yeah, the duel at the end is awesome.
Devil,
right? He plays like the devil's like main like guitarist or whatever. The devil's played by a different actor. But that movie is actually pretty good, I think, for like the duel alone. Pat Morita as Mr. Miyagi. I know him best from Weezer's music video for Buddy Holly. Mulan.
Oh man, I bet you were so proud of yourself when you wrote that down.
No, but he was co-starring on, I think he was like a secondary character on Happy Days. He was like the owner, I think, of like the establishment that they hung out at.
Yeah.
But was he?
I think so. Yeah.
I thought that was Al.
I think he like
there was two of them.
Yeah, I think he took over.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't realize that he was like the voice of the Emperor in Mulan, the Disney's Mulan, like the animated movie.
Oh, that's cool.
And then there's a movie that I saw as a kid. It's probably very, very terrible, but it's a buddy cop action movie called Collision Course, which stars Jay Leno.
Yeah,
I've never seen it. But
we've talked about this before on the podcast.
I think we talked about like literally our first buddy. Like I think when we did buddy action movie, may have been episode 1 of the podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got Elisabeth Shue as Allie Mills. Previous episode, The Adventures of Babysitting. She's also in Back to the Future 2 and 3. I think I just recently saw her in The Boys season 1 and 2. Okay. And she was nominated for leading actress in Leaving Las Vegas, which co-starred Nicolas Cage.
That's a good movie. That's a hard movie to watch.
I remember it being difficult. I haven't seen it in a long time, so I don't really remember
Yeah.
much. I just remember the ending being very, very sad.
Yeah, it's a good movie, and Nicolas Cage definitely deserved that Oscar for it.
Yeah. Were you gonna ask Matt?
Adventures in Babysitting, was that 88?
I'm actually not sure. It is. Let me see.
I would say 88. I'm gonna say
87.
80. Okay, so it's 3 years later.
Yeah. Yep. And then what?
So like,
What?
Just got what?
What?
So we just got done talking about the two leads, Ralph Macchio and Elisabeth Shue.
Yeah,
I looked up their ages when we were when I was watching it last night.
It's still crazy. When I found out how old Ralph Macchio was in this movie, it still baffles me today.
He's like 22, 23 when he's making this movie.
Yeah.
And Elisabeth Shue is about 21, 22 when she's making this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy because it's like Ralph Macchio, like
he looks like a teenager. Yeah.
Like he looks like a high school kid, and it's crazy to see his age. And you're like, oh,
he's like the oldest next to Pat Morita. He's the oldest person on the cast, basically.
Buying everybody booze.
Yeah, exactly. We also got Martin Cove, who plays Kreese, who's the sensei for Cobra Kai. I had just seen him in Last House on the Left, which I rewatched back in October. He plays a bit part as one of the sheriffs that's like looking for the killers. But he also pops in Rambo First Blood Part 2. And then I saw him, I think we all saw him, but he has a very, very small part in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in one of the shows that Leonardo DiCaprio is in.
Oh, was he?
All right.
Yeah. It's like for a split second though.
Okay. Is he? I wonder if he is related to I can't remember the guy's name, but the bad guy in Kindergarten Cop.
Oh, that character does play a character named Kreese. Like maybe the brothers in the universe, like shared universe, I guess.
No, but they look kind of similar. They both have like
they do kind of. It's like that face, like the Stone Cold. I don't think they're related though.
Is his name Kreese in Kindergarten Cop?
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's Chris. It's Chris.
It
sorry.
is Chris.
I thought it was Kreese for a second. I was really excited about that shared universe for a second. So continuing with the cast, you got Randee Heller, who plays Daniel's mom. I did not know this until I looked her up, but she had a bit part as Don Draper's secretary in Mad Men.
Okay, very cool.
Mrs. Blankenship. She's like kind of like had some comedy relief on that show. But then lastly, we got William Zabka, who plays Johnny Lawrence. He is killing it right now in Cobra Kai. I've watched all 3 seasons. I love that show, and I'm excited for season 4. But he was also in Back to School. And then he popped up in a couple episodes of How I Met Your Mother, which kind of like sprung up the theory that Daniel LaRusso is the real bully in Karate Kid.
Dude, the entire time I watched Karate Kid, I thought about that because Neil Patrick Harris. I was gonna find the clip to show you guys, but
I actually watched it. Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris describes the movie as if the bad guy is the protagonist, and he's the victim in the movie. And so he describes the movie like, yeah, it's just this kid, and then this new kid moves into town and tries to take his territory. Like, it's pretty funny the way he views that movie.
Because I think he talks about his love for Karate Kid in that show, and then they get Ralph Macchio to show up, and they're like, "We got your favorite," and it's like, I'm not talking about Ralph Macchio. I'm talking about William Zabka. William Zabka is the hero in Karate Kid.
Because there's like,
I have to watch that.
There's an episode where they have a bachelor party, and that's when they get William Zabka to like, because
he's in the background. He's this clown that's in the background. They don't know it's him until like I think the end of the episode where he's like,
"Oh yeah, that's right."
Like, I'm glad you said something. And he like takes off the wig and then wipes the paint, and he's like, William Zabka. But the show actually kind of plays on that whole theory about the bad guy, Daniel LaRusso being a bad guy, because they follow both Johnny and Daniel LaRusso, and they kind of flip flop. They do this storytelling device where they flip flop, like, oh, you think that Johnny Lawrence is still a bad guy, but then like another section of the story, you're like, oh no, he's like the good guy, and Daniel LaRusso is the bad guy, and then vice versa, where it's like you're rooting for Daniel LaRusso, and then it's like William Zabka is the bad guy. So they keep kind of flip-flopping.
That's cool.
Which is, I think it's pretty awesome.
I watched the first 2 episodes of it when it was like free on YouTube.
I did too, yeah. And I let it sit until it was available on Netflix. And I finally gave it a go, and I was like, I like this a lot.
Yeah, I liked what I watched.
Yeah. They do a lot of comedy. Like it's actually like a really funny show, but they actually do some pretty impressive like martial arts fight scenes throughout the show, which is pretty awesome. But I wanted to also note one last cast member. He plays one of Johnny Lawrence's like buddies in Cobra Kai. It's the blonde hair guy. His name is Chad McQueen.
That narrows it down.
Was that? Oh, everyone else says, it's
the blonde hair guy. The guy with the eyebrows.
It's the guy that looks like Jared Leto from Fight Club.
Yes, because his eyebrows are like dyed too and everything.
Yeah. So the guy who plays him is Chad McQueen. That's actually Steve McQueen's son.
Really?
That's cool.
Yeah. I was kind of I was looking more into the the back history. I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Wait, the car from Cars?
Yeah, Lightning McQueen, I think is what you're thinking
about. Is that? Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Steve McQueen.
Another person that was in that kind of in the background is Lamar from Revenge of the Nerds.
Is it? Yeah.
He's part of the Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, okay.
Wow.
You really only see his face twice, and it's literally for like a frame. It's very quick.
Because he's only in like maybe the dojo scene and then like the end tournament scene, because for the most part
that's exactly
what
it is.
It's just Johnny Lawrence and like 3 other friends that are like torturing knocking Daniel Russo off a hill at some point, trying to murder him,
Have you guys watched any of the other ones?
Which ones?
The Karate Kids.
I've seen them all.
Only seen this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have seen, so I got confused. We watched all the trailers for him last night, and I totally thought 3 was 2. I liked 3. I remember liking 3.
3 has more like, it gets bonkers because it brings back Kreese, but then it also brings back like his war buddy, who's like also a martial artist. And then it's like another Johnny Lawrence type guy that they're basically, picking on Danny LaRusso the entire time. But they kind of go the route in that movie with like Spider-Man 3, where it's like, oh, now we got dark Danny LaRusso because he's learning from Cobra Kai now, it's like the dark version, Mr. Miyagi's like trying to get him out of there or whatever. But
interesting. Okay. I remember
silly.
liking it. And I remember the whole thing with he has to go get a bonsai tree on the side of a mountain.
The cliff, yeah.
And I remember being super intense.
Yeah. Because I can't remember if they're like doing like the bully or whatever that they introduced. I think they're like at the top of the mountain, like trying to cut the rope with a knife or something crazy. And there's like,
dude, I remember liking it.
This is like kids movie.
But that's the only one I've seen outside of the series.
I remember 2 being pretty good. I remember the fight scene in 2 being pretty awesome. But it's like, yeah.
Well, I would like to revisit these for the podcast just because I feel like, and not that I don't want to do bad movies for the sake of doing bad movies. Shut up, Ponto. But the fact that it declines with the percentages, like they might be more fun to talk about.
I honestly like we watched the trailers for them last night, and they don't look interesting. Like, like I was just watching, I was like, man, this is the same. This is one of those like same stories just over and over.
Well,
and over.
Yeah, it really is. Like they just do the same rehash where it's like, well, let's learn some new karate moves and then let's see how he uses it in the last fight scene or whatever.
Like I would probably watch for the podcast. I'd probably watch the remake, which I thought like looked decent. I thought it was, like, which is awesome casting, by the way. And I'd probably watch the Hilary Swank one with you because I just really want to see what that story is. Like,
dude, 7%? That's insane.
Dude, it's not good. It's
really?
not good.
I'm sure that
Michael Ironside. Michael Ironside is the Kreese of that movie.
Is he? Is he in high? Is it him in high school? And he's like,
well, no, he's like the sensei. The sensei.
Get away from my girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. Like I would watch that one to see how it plays out. But the trailers for 2 and 3.
Yeah, you're basically
it's the same movie.
Yeah, you're essentially getting the same stuff. It just it's if you're a fan of the franchise, it would go further. But yeah,
all
the same stuff.
I might watch 3 after we're done with this today, just to watch the bonsai tree mountain thing.
And then turn it off. So just fast forward to that scene and then. Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and dive into the movie. The movie starts off explaining to me this. Already I've got questions. So we got
pretty straightforward movie.
So we got Danny, who's moving with his mom from Jersey to California.
Yeah.
Okay. They get there and I don't understand what her job is. Why did she move there?
I think it's one of those vague, I got a new job. Let's go to work in California.
And she's a waitress.
She's a waitress, right?
Yeah. She got a job as a waitress.
Like, no offense, but
like,
you just moved all the way across the country for a waitress job. Like, that's bizarre.
I think the restaurant even bought her a new house or got her the apartment and everything.
Right?
And paid for travel expenses. And
it's not very clear because so as soon as Danny gets there, he meets that really nice guy who's like, I want to be your best friend. And then later on, he's like, oh man, you're a nerd.
Yeah. Well,
what happened to that guy?
Yeah, well, no, because he sees Danny LaRusso get beat up at the beach. He's like, I made a huge mistake friending this guy. And then leaves on with this other group of friends.
Which is really weird, by the way. Like, can you imagine watching somebody getting their ass kicked and you're just like, I don't want to be friends with that person anymore. And
you were
embarrassing. Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah,
that's what doesn't make any sense for his character because his character seems so nice and welcoming.
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
He doesn't even back him up at all, like in that fight or whatever.
Yeah.
But he meets that kid and he's like, oh, what does your mom do? And he talks about how she does like science and computers or something. That's how he kind of says it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it shows him at the restaurant, the mom and Danny, and she's like, I'm gonna become a manager here. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. And I'm like, it's just weird. Like, I don't know why he moved.
Maybe something was cut, and maybe it was like she got fired from this job, and then she had to pick up another job.
Yeah,
that's the only explanation I have because
they didn't think that podcasters would be diving deep on this job that she got instead of the plot of Karate Kid.
Yeah, well, what I mean, because that's honestly, let's just make the whole hour of this episode to talk about this because she's not doing science at the restaurant, right?
Oh no.
My mom's a scientist. She works at Applebee's.
So, me and Matt talked about this as we watched it together. Dude, could you imagine, like, Danny has it really good because within the first day of moving to California, he makes a friend. He's like, yeah, come to the beach. And then they go to the beach and he's like, oh, that girl really likes you. Like, this is a really good first date for this kid.
He's got a really good setup already.
He does. So we meet them at the beach and Elisabeth Shue is like his love interest in this movie, which super cute in this movie. I like her a lot in this. Good casting. Actually, both ends really good casting. But they're hanging out on the beach and they're kind of flirting back and forth. And then this is when our main villain shows up. And it escalates so quickly. Like, I don't even know what happens to the point that, like, Danny's getting the crap kicked out of him. Like, it's very quick.
It's just one of those scenes where it's like they ride in on their dirt bikes. They see, because I think they had broken up at this point, right? Johnny and Allie. So he's going to like talk to her, but Daniel being like the hot new kid in Reseda or from Reseda or whatever, he's like, I'm going to do something about this, not realizing this guy knows karate. Ends up getting his ass whooped. But there's a funny part where he's like getting up off the ground and he does a cheap shot on Johnny and he just punches him in the face, and you just see Johnny like what? What?
Well, as soon as he punches Johnny, Danny puts his hand out. He's like, "Truths, are we even now?" And then
no, that was a cheap shot.
Yeah.
No, okay. Like, one of my complaints with this movie is that a lot of the escalation during some of the scenes is extremely fast.
Oh yeah,
and it's like I felt like when I was watching it, it was like between that and like the needle drop music that's kind of in this scene from the radio. There's a lot of scenes where like
music is playing from
pop music is playing over it, and it's like just real kind of like, it's not montagey, but it's just like kind of loud. And it just makes the scene so chaotic. And I'm like, what's going on? And I was like, why is he already getting beat up? Like,
I think it's just to really establish that Johnny Lawrence is like the bad guy of this this movie,
But
even
the
though it
end is
seems
this
like
way. The very end of this movie is this way as well. We'll talk about it, but it's a lot of. It's like the editing is just
abrupt,
so quick.
yeah,
and
abrupt,
like
and yeah.
Me and Matt were talking about that too. There are a few scenes I'll bring up that are like that. But like the structure of this movie is very Danny with his mom goes to school, and then he goes and talks to the maintenance guy at the apartments, which is
it's Mr. Pat Morita,
Mr. Miyagi. And so that structure is like school, mom, date, Mr. Miyagi, school. Like it follows the same pattern for most of the movie.
What's the next conflict that, is going to lead to him learning karate pretty much,
Yeah. But we get an introduction.
In 49 days. Go ahead.
Is that what they said it was going to be?
Well, it is 2
It's-
months because when he goes to Cobra Kai to talk to Kreese, he's like, we got 2 months to the All Valley tournament. Like in the, that 2 months, like
it's not 2 months though. It's 49 days.
Is it really? They should have a calendar and everything?
Because if you break it down from the right after the Halloween incident,
okay,
it's November 1st, right? So it's November 1st, and they said, and there's a poster, and it says like the competition's like December 19th or something, right? So you break it down, it's like 49 days he's going to learn karate. So it's like even less.
Yeah, than the initial proposition of 2 months to learn karate.
Unless that Halloween party landed on... No, it's Halloween. It's Halloween.
No, it is absolutely Halloween.
Yeah, it's absolutely Halloween. I was thinking like unless it landed on a Saturday night. Like
before we're really digging that deep?
Yeah, we're digging that deep. Unless it landed on a Saturday night before, he would have had more days.
Okay.
But no, it's on Halloween because Mr. Miyagi lights his jack-o'-lantern. So it's Halloween night. So it's October 31st, November 1st, December 19th, I think, is when the competition is.
Wow, it's very the attention to detail in this movie is fantastic.
Yeah, he's gonna learn karate that quick.
I wish we had commercials for this show so we could be like, hey, check out Cinema Cult. Well, we'll be dissecting what does Danny's mom do? And how many days was it actually until the tournament? But yeah, so like the whole movie is like, I mean, if you can help me out with some of these scenes, it's Danny meets Mr. Miyagi and they have a few interactions, nothing like major, until he actually really needs him.
Well, it really comes down to none of this would have really happened until Johnny and his friends knocked Danny LaRusso off that hill because his bike gets messed up.
Yeah, on your left.
Yeah, throws the bike in the trash, and then Mr. Miyagi fixes it, and then that's when he like finds out like, oh, he's into bonsai trees, and then slowly learns that he's like a karate master.
Right. Well, there's so many fights that do happen before that because you have the fight on the beach.
Yeah.
And then you have like soccer tryouts, which is like the first day at school, I think, for him.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the kids does something to him, and then he punches him back. And then the coach is like, get out of the soccer team. We don't like you.
Yeah.
And that's a clip from the movie. And it cuts. So while Danny's like getting in this like tussle, it shows Elisabeth Shue, and she's like part of the cheerleading squad. And she kind of like stops, and she's kind of like slowing down and staring at Danny, get the crap kicked out of him. And I wanted to edit this. So that scene was her initial, like when they show the cheerleaders, that's just her being like very like unmotivated and not a very good cheerleader at all.
Okay, so that leads me to a question then. Does Elisabeth Shue's character really dig Ralph Macchio, or is she using him to get back at her ex-boyfriend?
Well, obviously not, because in spoiler Karate Kid 2, they've already broken up, and it's like it takes place a few days like after.
You mean so obviously that she was using him?
Maybe.
Because I will say this, like I think both actors are awesome in this, like for their parts. I enjoy both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in their chemistry though. I don't think either one of them has chemistry in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not buying the love story as much. Like
I think I buy it like after it's on Danny's birthday and he gets that car. I think at that point I buy it.
Yeah, because he's got a car and she's like, "Oh, you got a car instead of a BMX bike?"
Yeah, I say better than that dirt bike.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I buy it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like, I mean,
that was a good counter argument. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't, I mean, I'm not like
Let's see it that way.
married to this. I'm not saying it like makes or breaks the movie. I'm just saying that like, I feel like I'm not feeling their chemistry as much.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it is because most of the interactions in this movie is with Mr. Miyagi, not with Allie, you know. It's all about him becoming a karate kid, not
but I also
the next
feel like
boyfriend.
He doesn't like her for her personality. He likes her for her looks. And he's like, oh yeah, she's really hot. She's really pretty.
Yeah.
That's a direct quote from the movie.
Oh, nice clip. Nice.
Yeah. But like, he never really kind of like, I don't know. They never really established like where they connect to on like one level. It's like the only level that they connect on is that her ex-boyfriend keeps pushing him around.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing they have in common.
That's the only thing they have in common.
Our hatred for this man.
Yeah. They're using each other. That's that was the original plot synopsis for the Karate Kid. A high school couple uses each other to get back at blonde boy.
Blonde boy.
Yeah. Blonde boy.
So one of the more memorable scenes in this movie, if I've jumped over anything, let me know, but is the Halloween dance.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're kind of at this point yet because he doesn't really have a relationship with Mr. Miyagi yet.
Yeah.
I think the only thing they've done together was the bonsai tree thing.
Bonsai tree, and then I think Mr. Miyagi helps build this shower costume for
I guess
Daniel.
so. Yeah. So I guess they've had some good interaction at this point. Whenever I think of the bonsai tree thing, I think of that Saved by the Bell episode. Do you, Hanto? You agree?
I think you're sparking a memory right now.
It was when
they
were all in school.
Yeah, Belding.
And they were trying to distract Belding. And so Screech, Mr. Belding's like, yeah, I just got this bonsai tree. And Screech was like, oh, let me help you with that. And he like kept like trimming it. And like he was trying to distract them. And so the whole episode, it kept going on. And by the end of the episode, it was completely bare and there was nothing else on it. So when I think bonsai trees.
What a terror.
Yeah, it was a very memorable episode. But anyway, I think you guys were more excited about that.
No,
I was excited about it.
You said bonsai tree, and I was trying my best to dig. I do remember that episode, but not enough to remember that Screech had ruined Belding's his bonsai tree completely.
Yeah,
but it was a nice side step away from the plot of Karate Kid.
Dude, we should just.
I really appreciated it.
You've done a great service to this podcast.
I'm very appreciative right now.
Honestly, we should do a side podcast where we just break down like Saved by the Bell episodes and just like talk about them.
There's some crazy episodes on that show.
Yeah,
Dude, we could do a whole sub like podcast where we do 90s shows and we just pick like a Family Matters episode or a Full House episode.
We can speaking of martial arts, we could talk about the episode in Family Matters when they go in that little portal, him and Carl, and they become very, very problematic versions of Bruce Lee.
I remember this.
And they fight thugs in a warehouse. And
I do remember that.
But yeah,
I think I remember that.
It's not good. You cannot do that today. Not at all.
I know exactly. Well, Hanto, I thank you for your words as well. So to continue the movie, they have this big Halloween party, and Danny doesn't want to be seen, so he shows up as a shower.
But it's like you could see that costume a mile away because it's knocking into the top of the door frame and like knocking the basketball hoop and everything. Like
it's actually a pretty good idea, and so I guess Mr. Miyagi like built it for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like a giant ring that like kind of like halos over his head. Mm-hmm. And then you get the shower curtain, and then you get the actual like spout or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's walking through this high school dance, and like, yeah, if you didn't want to be seen, you have the biggest costume there. You're the King Kong of this party. Like, and Elisabeth Shue knows who exactly it is, which is weird because they don't really know each other that well. And she's like, "Oh, I know my Danny."
But that's what I mean, man. Yeah. I feel like the chemistry is like very shallow, and it's like I'm not buying their love story.
I think your words are different, or you're mixing up your words, because when they are together, I believe the chemistry.
I think so,
but you haven't shown or told me enough why they're clicking.
There hasn't been enough interactions or like scenes of them talking to get more character development,
you haven't established that there's a connection there. You're just telling me that they have a connection.
Yeah, it's just every time they're on the screen, it's like, okay, they're into each other. There you go. Let's roll with the scene now,
And I guess maybe I'm contradicting myself or whatever, but when I see them together, I buy it. But then at the same time, I'm like, yeah, they have nothing to go off of except for this hate for this one guy.
Yeah.
So, but I do find this very charming because she kind of like gets into the shower curtain and they kind of have like this really like nice private dance themselves. And this one's totally on Danny on this one, but Danny goes to the restroom.
Yeah, he's asking for it in the scene.
Yeah. And our villain is rolling a joint in the bathroom stall.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like it's a real brief shot, but he's like,
yeah, he's definitely rolling a J.
Yeah.
And I told Matt, I was like, that's how you establish villains back in the 80s.
Yeah, that's the reefer madness. That kid's got reefer madness.
But Danny takes a hose from one of the sinks, and I don't even know why this hose is there.
But I remember they used to have that back in like high school, just like just a hose that drains something or whatever. But yeah, he hangs it above, like on the piping above the stall, and then just like turns it on, runs into Spider-Man, and then has a hard time getting by because his costume's so gigantic. And then Johnny and his buddies, they end up confronting Daniel Russo in the back of the high school where they proceed.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't plan this escape very well.
Well,
like
he should have just the costume is the thing.
Oh,
100%. He should have just sat in the corner like as a shower. He places
like
he's in a bathroom.
He gets like fake legs and then places the shower curtain in the corner and then they think it's him the entire time.
No, I was thinking he just goes into he's just the shower in the corner of the bathroom. The guy would probably have ran away and then the villain, that's just a shower. That's not a person.
Yeah.
And then the villain's like, I guess we lost him. He's like, I'm all wet now. I might as well take a shower. and it's in total 80s fashion. He gets completely undressed and he gets into the shower and he's face to face with Danny. It's like, Danny!
That's pretty
great.
Yeah.
And then hijinks can continue.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, so me and Chris got together before this and we watched Hamburger the Motion Picture.
We talked about this briefly.
Yeah. We talked about this off the podcast with each other. But we watched Hamburger the Motion Picture, which
you actually watched it.
Half of it. But it's an 80s sex comedy. It's a sexy comedy from the 80s.
Raunchy comedy.
But it was just like it's that kind of like bad 80s movie where you're
it's like Zap, basically.
Where hijinks ensue.
Yeah.
And so watching that and then watching Karate Kid like right after, it's like you can't help to be like, oh, this is the same year. So it's like it's just weird because your mind just kind of goes in that route and
because like Karate Kid is like a straight drama kind of.
Yeah. It's like high because like I talked to Chris about it and I was like, it's like when we were like watching Karate Kid's like high end 80s movies and then low end 80s movies is Hamburger the Motion Picture.
It's what happens when a studio gives a very little money to a person to make money versus a studio giving what was it like 20 million or something to make
Hamburger the Motion Picture.
Yeah.
Dude,
20 million.
I watching like these raunchy teen comedies from the 80s. They're so offensive, man. Like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
It's like even in the Hamburger movie, like they have like a stereotypical fat kid who can't stop eating. So every time he wants to eat, he shocks himself to not eat.
Yeah.
And every time he does, like, and it goes on for like 10 minutes. And like, it's just the way they treat like all like stereotypes. Ethnicities, women, like anything that's not basically white male, they make fun of.
Everything is fair game in the 80s. I feel like
it's horrible.
And, even pre 80s as well, because you got those cartoons like on Disney where they have to have warning labels now as far as like, hey, this is content is sensitive and nowadays. But yeah, I feel like 80s in particular was like, let's just go wild with whatever, because no one's gonna bother us about the content or terrible things that we do say in the script or whatever.
It's like cocaine fueled productions where it's like let's get all these teenagers or 20-something year olds together for a week or two
Yeah.
And we'll just film a movie around it
and not worry about any sort of censorship or whatever,
Yeah. Because all you got to worry about is those Friday night figures, because you get enough people to pack some theaters, then it's new teen raunchy comedy on a Friday night, Saturday night, then you make your money back and you move on before anybody knows how bad it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But back to Karate Kid itself, though, this whole scene where they're dressed as skeletons.
This is very iconic.
It is. I think it's the most memorable scene of the movie for me.
Yeah.
Because they start to beat up on Danny, and then Mr. Miyagi shows up, and essentially he's probably in his 40s, and he's kicking the crap out of.
He's actually 52 in this movie.
Is he really?
Yeah.
That's like, could you imagine? Okay, think of your age now. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now add 20 more onto that, and then go find like a 16-year-old to beat the crap out of. 4 of them, for that matter. Like, that's insane to think about.
Yeah. For them that know karate too.
Well, I'm just like, like you're just beating the crap out of kids. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Now.
I'm just saying, in today's world, like, just call the cops. Like.
But also,
whatever.
Like, how long was Miyagi tracking Danny down? Because obviously,
good.
He said, "Here's his costume." Maybe he was like spying on him to see how the costume worked at this dance or whatever. Yeah. But how long was he like tracking him?
He's the other shower.
He's like, I wonder how my shower costume's doing.
Yeah, with John Lovitz from Wedding Singer.
just hiding around corners.
Yeah. But yeah, how long was he tracking Danny down? Even like letting him go into this bathroom to, whatever, sees him run out of the high school. But yeah, he's like climbing out, he's like on the other side of the fence.
Well, I thought though, because oh man, we're really diving deep.
Oh yeah.
Based on the geography of this movie, the high school is not too far from the apartment complex. I thought he was right behind the apartment complex was when he gets beat up. Like he gets away from the high school.
They ran to the apartment complex.
Okay.
Yes. Like he almost makes it over the fence to the apartment complex and gets beat up. And that's why I missed it.
Oh wow, they chased him really far. I thought it was like literally right outside the high school. Like
Well, he soaked his pants, man. He's like, this kid's gonna pay. Like,
it was a pretty sick costume, and he also ruined that party cigarette that they're gonna enjoy later.
If you really think about it, this kid's probably 16 years old.
That's probably like cash. His lawnmower money, man, went to that one thing.
$50 in 1980s American money on weed. Yeah. And then the weed gets ruined, and he's like, it's like this kid is going to die.
This kid has to pay.
And all you want to do is just take a shower. And then you think it's a shower, and you open up the curtains.
Daniel!
He's like face to face. My clothes are ruined. That's so stupid.
It's really silly.
It's good though. So basically, after Mr. Miyagi saves Danny right here, this is the start of their like real relationship, I feel like, because what happens is Miyagi takes Danny and they go to the Cobra Kai, and they pretty much say, hey, leave Danny alone. And if you do, Danny will fight all your guys in 49 days. He says 49 days.
In Mortal Kombat.
And they're totally good for it. So they agreed to that. And this basically starts like the 2-month like training montage.
Yeah.
Because you have scenes of, it's cool because pretty much Mr. Miyagi has Danny do all these like chores.
Yeah.
And it's like sand this deck,
waxing
paint this
the
fence.
car, paint the fence, sand the floors,
Yeah. And this is all he does for like a month or month and a half. And Danny gets really sick of it.
Yeah.
And it's cool because the moment Danny confronts Mr. Miyagi,
this scene is I think this scene is awesome.
This scene's cool. It's really
cool. Incredible.
Yeah, once you realize that he actually has been training him through these chores, and he's able to defend himself against Mr. Miyagi, you're like, okay, like I legit think this is an awesome scene.
Yeah. And I didn't know this, but Pat Morita was nominated for best supporting actor in this movie.
Really?
For Oscar.
It's probably that scene when he breaks down.
So I think it is. That scene is incredible.
Yeah, dude, and you can hear some of his background.
Yeah.
I popped a tear on that one because it was so like out of left field. and like the way he's talking about it, he was like, he said something about, he's like, yeah, died at complications at birth or due to birth or whatever. And
yeah,
you could just tell he's so, I don't know. It's an awesome scene. It's it's almost, I don't know. I think this is a deep movie, but it almost doesn't fit in this movie because it's so like.
Well, it takes you out. It takes you out of it for a minute, but I think it fits very well to just to give like some backstory on who this guy is, because
Which I like that, because I feel like this character in kung fu movies, this like the master character, it is usually like mythical and kind of like is very clinical in a way where he's very cold, he's very calculated. You don't really know much about him,
but he has the best interest for like the character in the end.
Yeah. And I feel like with them giving him this scene, and there's like, and then obviously the comedy sprinkled throughout, it gives him way more character than like he normally, that this character would normally ever receive in a script.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's actually a really good way of putting it. And and even saying that too, I was saying it doesn't fit in this movie, but you saying that, I'm glad it was in the movie because
it makes him human.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you said, in these martial arts movies, especially like some of the Jackie Chan ones, it's like they don't really give any backstory other than he's awesome at martial arts, and they make him kind of invincible in a way.
Yeah.
And in some of these movies, they end up like killing them off, and it gives more motivation for the hero to like seek out the main villain, blah blah blah. But at least like in a story like this, where it's like a drama, you're actually humanizing the guy who is teaching this kid, and it gives you backstory in like the span of 5 minutes, like a massive backstory.
Yeah, it does. That's a good point. During all this, though, we do have actually there are some pretty memorable scenes during this like 2-month period. Danny goes on a date with, I was gonna say Ali Sheedy, Elisabeth Shue, and his mom goes to pick him up.
Oh
and they can't get the car to start, and her rich parents are just like watching him like jump this car.
It's a subtle thing that I noticed this viewing is that like you think that Allie comes from this like very perfect family, but when Danny's talking to them, like introducing himself, he's kicking over that brick, and it's almost like when it breaks off the thing. It like fell off because it's already broken or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like the rich family is almost like embarrassed that thing is like broken. They're like, oh, like don't mind that, blah blah. But then kind of like brings them down a tad bit to their like Danny and his mom's like level, as far as, because then like shortly after you see them having to push the car away.
And she's like, your mom's an Applebee's scientist
and you're driving that car.
So you have that scene. You have the scene where Mr. Miyagi gives Danny a car.
Mm-hmm.
That's holy shit, right?
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice gift.
So these all scenes are really good. I do like the scene during school when Danny approaches the Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
And he goes up to the teacher and he was like, hey, he's like, we were all just talking about your lecture earlier. And then he tries to like, it's weird because he tries to trap the entire Cobra Kai into like this like lecture.
It's a plan that massively backfires on him.
And it does. And they all disappear. And it's just Danny. He's like, yeah, sure, Danny, I'll tell you all about it. And then, which is, it's a fun scene. But now we're getting down to like, this is pretty much the end of the film, or like the climax, you could say. But they go to the tournament and they register Danny as a black belt. And I love the ways
he doesn't even have a black belt to begin with.
He doesn't have a status at all. And in the way he like steals the Mr. Miyagi steals the belt out and gives it to
I actually didn't even notice that until this viewing, where it's like she's like about to leave and then he like kind of grabs her, distracts the guys, like it's Miyagi. And then
I wish like belt. I could say that like after watching this, what I want to see more of in this movie is, I think this would help with like my chemistry issue between Elisabeth Shue and Ralph Macchio, is if she was more a part of the journey that he was in with Mr. Miyagi, because this is like their only scene together, is this kind of like this like fun little kind of scene where he steals the black belt. And I wish there was more of this where it's like all three of them were like together
training,
and I wish there was
she's helping train or whatever.
Yeah, so I feel like that way you involve her more into the story, and she feels more like attached as opposed to just kind of like just being there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you really kind of break it down, I don't even think she really knows what's going on until the end of this movie, where it's like, does he even mention to her that he's going to be in a competition fighting these guys?
I think he does talk about at some point. I think he talks about how he has to train for the All Valley, but it's like not really. It's very, very minor. Like,
yeah, but because there's scenes in the movie that lead up to making you think that she has no clue what's going on. Like when he goes around and he's messing with the guys, and he's like, oh yeah, because he knows they can't beat him up anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, we got into a fight, like, I won, we're friends now or whatever. And he never mentions anything about them being in a competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like that, so she kind of doesn't know anything about the competition until the end of the movie, I thought.
Maybe.
Unless I missed some kind of dialogue.
With your original point, having the three of them together, like it would have, because it feels like that type of movie where they would be like, she would always be there, like kind of supporting him.
Yeah.
And then they would become friends. And then her and Mr. Miyagi had like this really nice relationship too. And it's hinted at it at the end during the scene, but it would have played off better had you had that history of them as like a threesome.
And I think like maybe some kind of confrontation between the two of them, because their confrontation in one scene in the arcade makes no sense.
Oh, because I think
she's like mad at him.
No
reason. Like
that's after, it's because at that scene prior to that, he goes to meet her at the country club. She's dancing with Johnny, and Johnny makes it look like they're kissing, as if they're
right
now, and then he gets the spaghetti madness all over his clothes.
Matt called it, or somebody called it spaghetti pants.
Yeah, spaghetti pants.
Yeah, it's like the most embarrassing thing.
Spaghetti pants.
Yeah, it's when you're wearing all white and you look like spaghetti now.
And for the rest of high school, he's Mr. Spaghetti Pants.
But everybody laughs at him, and then he gets up and leaves. And the next time we see these two together, she's mad at him. Like, I don't understand why she's mad at him.
I think because he was avoiding her at that point, like because he was upset that they were back together, quote unquote, even though they weren't. And so I think he was avoiding her. And then when he goes to talk to her again, she's like basically shooting him with the arcade gun and walking away or whatever. So
I think she's more upset that he's got marinara on his pants, and that's why she won't talk to him.
He still hasn't washed his clothes since that country club.
Did you notice for the rest of the movie they call him Danny Marinara? That's his
Marinara. And now introducing Johnny Lawrence versus Danny Marinara.
That's not my name.
Dude, Chris wasn't a bully in high school, but Chris would be like the best bully in high school.
Oh, thanks.
Because of names like
Marinara.
Yeah. Wasn't there something with Christmas tree or something?
Yeah,
in the past.
Old ghost of girlfriend's past.
Is that your Danny Marinara? Your Christmas tree?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Is it really? Okay, cool.
But like Chris could have slayed in high school. Like if he wanted to be the bully,
wearing his Cobra Kai headband and like
he's like, people. Look, it's Danny Marinara. Old spaghetti pants.
Matt, you sound like more of the bully than I would be. I think
this is a scenario where it turns out Matt was the real bully the entire time.
Right.
Matt was the bully the whole time.
They used to call him Matty Meatballs.
Yeah, Matty Meatballs.
And Danny Marinara. It's a new buddy action comedy coming out.
Together they're spaghetti. Or it's like together there's Spaghetti Madness.
Join us next time in Spaghetti Madness. Coming soon.
I like this. This is great.
Danny Marinara and Matthew Meatballs and All You Can Eat.
Yeah.
That's part 3. All You Can Eat.
At the Sizzler.
Sponsored by Sizzler.
So I'm going to tell you the last 10 minutes of this movie. We'll do it 2 ways. I'm going to describe it, how it feels.
Okay.
And then I'll go back and I'll actually talk about it. So at the end of this movie, Danny fights, he gets a trophy, gets respect, the end. That's how this movie feels. Yeah. This movie wraps up like it's bizarre.
Yeah. The montage of You're the Best Around is like literally just 2.5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Then you get to it's your typical in an action movie where it's like, blood sport where he does the dust in his eyes. But in this movie, he gets a dead leg. Johnny does like his elbow on the leg, and then he's out of the tournament now. Then comes back and then does his like crane kick or whatever. But yeah, it's totally like, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap this movie up now.
Dude, I thought you were telling me to.
No,
like,
let's wrap this episode up.
Let's wrap this up.
This is me breaking character. Let's wrap it up.
But it's weird. Okay, I will say here's another complaint. I don't know what this competition is. Like, I don't.
The All Valley, like, dude. All Valley.
I don't know what counts as hits and what doesn't count as hits. I'm confused by that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, sometimes it looks like they're getting hit, but it's like they're still fighting or whatever. I think it's something to do with like they have to fall on the ground or like get pushed out of bounds or something.
But at one point he gets kicked in the head by Cobra Kai guy.
Johnny Lawrence?
Yeah. He gets kicked in the head, and then it doesn't count as a point. But then Ralph Macchio wins the tournament by kicking him in the head.
That's like
that's it.
So that's like the ongoing thing. Like in How I Met Your Mother, he's like Daniel LaRusse is a real villain because he used an illegal kick to win a tournament, and they even bring it up in Cobra Kai where he's like, when it's like asking about you're the guy who lost the tournament. He's like, to a legal kick. Like he brings it up brings it up in the show. Yeah, he brings it up.
Yeah, it made no sense to me. And then like he wins and they give him the trophy and he's like, "Hey, you're a good fighter. We're best friends."
Yeah, you're a good job. Like good job. Yeah,
dude,
you're a good guy.
It's like so much hate for one person, and then he gets the trophy, and then like he's like in his face, he's like, "You're so good." He's like, "You have so much respect." And
then, we're friends now. And then you watch the series Cobra Kai, and they're not friends.
Yeah, it's just strange because it's like for a movie that's 2 hours and 7 minutes long, you think they could have spent like 30 more seconds or a minute, like just add it onto that end, like wrap it up a little bit, make it a little like flesh it out a little bit. Right. But the editing is real weird in this movie. There's 3 editors in this movie, by the way.
Is there really? Wow.
Yeah. I did notice that. So I don't know if that has to do with anything.
It's possible.
Well, the director was one of the editors, so I guess that kind of comes in to play where it's like supervising or whatever. But I don't know who these other 2 are.
But it's just the edit. Like there's between the pop needle drop music, and the editing in this movie. It's just there's scenes that move really really fast, and I'm like, especially this ending.
Yeah.
Long story short, I hate this ending.
I kind of like the ending.
I know. I just hate it for how quick it is.
Oh,
and I hate that I don't understand what happened.
He won the tournament, dude.
It's so quick. I feel like he gets to the tournament, they register, and as he's registering, the credits are already rolling on the screen. And like, I feel like that's how like, quick it is.
Around.
Thank you. So that's Karate Kid 1984. 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. Matt, we'll start off with you. What would you rate it percentage-wise?
I would give it, and this is coming back from me not having grown up with it. I think if I watched as a kid, I would have really liked it. Like if I go back and watch Mighty Ducks, I might not like. I have a nostalgia attached to that.
Yeah, it's the nostalgia.
You 2 are more 80s kids than I am. So my 90s stuff would be like Little Giants and Mighty Ducks. And I think if I grew up with it, I would have liked it a lot more. But I don't think it's a bad movie by any degree. So I'd give it about an 80%.
80? Okay.
Yeah.
And then to counter off that, did you like it better than Ricochet?
Yes. I liked it better than Ricochet.
What's this percentage for Ricochet? Is it like
I don't know. I can't. Ricochet was
rough.
I just want that to be our new. Like, is it better or worse than Ricochet?
Yeah.
Hanto, what do you give it?
I'd say since I grew up with this movie, this is like mid to high 80s for me.
Okay.
I will watch this again and again and again.
So you agree with the 89%?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say 78, 79. It's good. I enjoyed it. It's a little long.
It's long. It's really long.
2 hours and 7 minutes was very surprising to see on that.
I was,
but it's good. I don't think it's amazing. Definitely captures that 80s spirit really well.
Mm-hmm.
I like stories about the underdog. There's really not a lot I don't like about this movie. It's just a little long. That's all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I am going to go watch 3 in like 10 minutes. So I'm going to fire that bad boy up. But we are going to continue on with, I was going to say Martial Madness.
Martial Madness.
That's better, dude.
I actually kind of like that.
Yeah. All right, maybe we'll change it. Let's change it to Martial Madness.
Martial Arts Madness.
Martial Arts Madness. So we're gonna do Matrix as our next movie, and then we're gonna finish it off with Turtles, the original movie from 1990.
I think
But
so.
we also have a bonus episode we're not going to tell you about yet.
Well, listener request.
A little listener request, and that will pop up sometime.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll just drop randomly.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah, and it will sell out quickly, so make sure you.
It's limited time only. You know,
it's like a 15-minute.
What if that was the thing that like skyrocketed our podcast? Was that like we did limited release episodes, and like, it was like, yeah, they're only up on YouTube for a week, and then everyone's like, yeah, I gotta.
You know what? I think we should do it.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say you should do it so you can only stream it for a limited time, and so our episodes are like an hour long roughly, and when we put the episode up, we'll be like, this stream ends in 20 minutes, and then you're like, that's not even enough.
40 minutes.
Yeah, I want to listen to the full episode. You choose the 20 minutes you want of that episode.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I like that.
We do have a bonus episode coming from a listener request to continue our Martial Madness. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we got a really good month looking forward to. And then, did we decide on April yet?
No, I haven't looked
into it. April's our halfway to Halloween.
Halfway to Halloween.
Yeah. So we got some horror movies in April.
There was a lot of like saying the same stuff just now. From both
it was
very weird.
But yeah, we've got a few movies picked out. We're not for sure yet because we always get excited about picking the horror movies.
Yeah.
So we'll have that in April to look forward to as well. So thank you so much for listening. Please continue us on this journey, as a new saying I'm going to say through the podcast. If you have any requests or any comments or anything, you can hit us up on Facebook, or you can email us at
cinemaclubpodcast@gmail.com.
And thank you so much for listening. We love doing this. We hope you love listening to it. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Honto.
And we'll see you next time.